we get Superman in this glass case of emotion. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
It's actually a crystal case of emotion.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, for two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is the #1 Superman fan on the internet. It's Frank. How are you?
Ooh, that is a high compliment. Thank you. I don't know if I quite deserve it, but I will take it. Thank you. I feel like I would give that honor to someone like Michael Bailey from some Superman homepage and so forth. But you know what? Thank you. I will take that.
You're the #1 fan in my heart, Frank. Maybe that's it.
Aw. Well, thank you.
That's clogging an artery right over there with Superman fandom. Like, get out of there. I need all four.
Yeah. Geez. Well, is what you're drinking going to help with that?
Absolutely, it's not. I can assure you of that. This is my last Boddington's Pub Ale.
Nice.
It is my last one, because apparently I only drink on this show now. I don't have any.
Sure.
I have no beverages when we are not recording this show.
You know, the same has been true for me for the last couple of months. Have I mentioned this? My wife decided to stop drinking a couple months ago.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, she just decided, like, I'm just gonna take a break from alcohol for a while, for I don't know how long, but just decided to take a break. So she hasn't been drinking. She doesn't mind if I have a drink. But without, you know, I without someone else to have a drink with, I just don't think about it as often.
Yep.
You know, once in a while I'll be like, ooh, you know, I would like to crack open a beer, and you know, I'll do that while we're watching TV or whatever. But yeah, I've been drinking a lot less too. So I hear you. I hear you on that.
My wife also doesn't drink,
right?
So hasn't since I've known her. She
right
has, and so like she's thrilled that mocktails are like a thing that you can get now, like, and not be weird about it. So yeah. So I just generally just don't like.
Nice. Yeah,
because you need to do it with. It's a company thing, or
it is right.
It's a buddy thing.
It's a communal experience so much of the time. Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I am, as we are fast approaching. We are in the thick of the holiday season. We're fast approaching the end of the year, and being Christmas at all. Not only do I have my Christmas colored lights going on back here, but for those of you watching us on YouTube, but I'm also drinking a Christmas beer with lots of Christmas cheer. It is a St. Bernardus Christmas Ale. This is one of their Abbey ales, which is a Belgian Abbey ale. It is their Christmas ale, which takes on a splendid dark brown color that is topped off with a cream-colored layer of froth. And I love when this happens. You know how I feel about having matching glassware, and not just like
that,
not just the right shape, but it's actually the brand.
Awesome.
So it's literally, this is the glass that is meant for this beer. Where did I get it? I don't remember. It's been a few years now. I think it was at a I think I got it at a bar, but
I think it was a long.
I think it was at a beer bar. But I'm not certain. I don't remember now. It's been a number of years, and I no longer recall. But there you go. If anybody watched a couple weeks ago when I drank another Belgian beer, and I drank it in the wrong kind of glass, and it was a terrible pour, look what happens when you put it in the right kind of glassware.
Amazing glass.
See that?
Amazing pour.
This is how it's meant to. This is how it's meant to be. I haven't cracked this pack open yet. So this is my first sip of the Christmas ale for this year.
Christmas ale usually, it's got some kind of spice to it.
Yeah, it is spiced. Right? Yes. This says that it has a intensely dark beer with a full yet slightly fruity flavor, which, yeah, I would agree with that. Slightly fruity, overflowing with the tastes of winter and zesty seasonal aromas. Aniseed notes are complemented by hints of cream, caramel, and fire roasted chestnuts.
Before that last part, it honest to God sounded like you were drinking a fruitcake.
Like, I know, right? Yeah, it does. No. It does have a very, you know how Belgians have, and like Abbey ales have that sort of fruitiness, like on the nose and in the nasal,
the nasal passages.
Yeah, like That's what I'm getting. And it is delicious, and I love it. It is one of my absolute favorites. Um, Tim, there's something else that's my absolute favorite, and that's Superman is my
My face.
absolute
Oh,
favorite hero. Well, your face is up there.
yeah.
But Superman is my favorite guy, favorite superhero, and I feel like my time has finally come. I feel like they're finally calling my number.
That's it. This is your time. You're ascending to the pearly gates. No, you're like you are the pearly gates of a Superman movie that will
Yeah.
finally deliver on the promise of Superman and
It's
who he
looking
is.
it's looking good. It is looking good. The chances are looking good.
You've come
We
close many times. Many
Yes.
times have you come close to this. Chris Reeve, you've come close, but there he has not. But it's a little dated. He's a little overpowered. It's a little
Sure.
wonky,
Sure, sure.
in some places. There's some great
Classic,
Superman
absolutely,
TV,
but
some wonderful
yeah.
Superman TV, but on the big screen, your time has come.
Right, right. Superman and Lois has been great. You know, my buddy Derek over on the House of L podcast was saying like there are times of feast and famine, right? And for the last few years or last several years, last couple decades, even you could argue, Superman fans have been sort of in more of a famine phase, and like Batman fans have been feasting, right?
We've
And
been feasting since 1989, like
I would agree. Yes, I would agree.
with a small break in the late 90s, you know.
Right. Yes, I would agree. Batman fans have been feasting for quite a while. Superman fans have been in famine for quite a while. Uh, and the last few years, we've had like things picking up, right? Since Smallville ended, there was sort of a quiet period, and then we got Supergirl, and we got Superman coming to Supergirl, and then we got Superman and Lois, which has been fantastic, and now we have My Adventures with Superman, and um it is like it's been on the upswing. There's been like an up trajectory, and I feel like it's sort of culminating now with this project with Superman
The
2025.
mo the
Yeah.
movie in 2025. Yeah, you can't say
Right.
Superman the movie because that's
Right,
1978,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
So I this teaser trailer that they dropped this week, as we're recording this, it's December 20th, 2024, and so it just dropped. Was it yesterday? Was it really only yesterday?
Just
Yeah, it
yesterday.
was.
Mhm.
Jeez.
And
I
it
watched it
now
so many times since yesterday that
I
it
know.
feels like it was a couple days ago.
It has the most views of any DC film, period, not studios, just DC movie, period, and Warner Brothers. Most views for any trailer,
Whoa.
both of
Oh,
them. Boom.
wow.
Which is very
That's
impressive
It
considering
is.
the stuff that has come out of Warner Brothers over the years, even big stuff that really drew people's attention, like, I don't know, the Batman, Joker, Dark Knight, like, whatever. It has exceeded all of them. I'm looking at the numbers sitting over 26 million views just on the DC, page, but, obviously, it's accumulated across all these other pages too. I think it's
Sure.
over 250, um 250 views on
God.
I like
Wow.
to use my lookup for that
That's
because it's a fun fact.
that's a
James
worthwhile
Gunn
one, yeah.
says, "Crypto really did take us home with over 250 million views and a million social media posts. Superman is officially the most viewed and most talked about trailer in the history of both DC and Warner Brothers." And he goes on to thank
Fantastic.
people who actually, like, watched it to
Yep.
make that possible. I contributed
Fantastic.
about 20 of those views, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. My count is definitely up there as well. It's a good trailer. It's a good trailer. Should we dive into it? Should we talk about it a little bit?
We should. Truthfully, I feel as happy no, this is actually it could be foreboding. This is a terrible
Okay.
foreshadow, but that for when we were doing the we've been doing this a long time already. So when that
Mhm.
Force
Mhm.
Awakens trailer came out and we dived in and we were pulling it apart because if there's anything bigger in our geeky lives than Star Wars, it's Superman slash Batman, depending on who we're talking about here. But
Mhm.
honestly, as I age, they're the same level. They're not
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
differentiate, like, people, Batman's my number 1, Superman's my number 2. They're both number 1. They are the world's finest in
Mhm. Mhm.
my
Mhm.
heart. They're
Yes.
taking up the other 2 arteries. Like, they're,
This is not good.
It's
You're
not
not.
good. I know, there are
Oof.
so many other places they could inhabit in my body. It could be in my nostrils, my hair follicles, but
Well,
no, they're right for the heart, right where I want them.
they know the way to your heart.
They sure do. James Gunn, it seems, also knows the way to my heart. So, you want to
Yes,
go?
it seems.
We'll go through frame by frame, see what we're talking about here. Not frame by
Let's
frame.
break
We'll
it
be here
down.
forever, but we can
Yeah,
certainly
right.
just play it. We're opening up in the North Pole, the Arctic of some kind, right? And we
Yeah,
see
yeah.
Superman crash to the ground, battered, bruised. First time I've ever seen Superman bleeding on screen for real, because Batman's promise of making Superman bleed, I don't actually know if there was blood. I'm not positive about that.
Yeah.
Maybe he spit out blood when he was
I
fighting
f
Doomsday or something. I don't know.
Superman Returns, I think when he got stabbed with that shard of kryptonite, I think he bled.
Yes, you're right. You're right. But to see Superman this really battered and bruised, I saw James Gunn say, like, in his mind, this whole opening is like, to him, the state of America. The whole point of this whole thing
Mhm.
is like
I saw that.
battered and bruised. But I think that image, in conjunction with the first image that they released of Superman with him putting on his boots one at a
Yeah.
time, is that, like, I'm just gonna keep going, right? I'm like,
Right.
no matter what, despite all of this, I'm just going to plow through and do what I need to do. And I love that. That's a really strong image without saying it in the trailer right away.
It's about persevering,
Right.
right?
Yeah. It also
Yeah.
tells me he's not as powerful as we're used to seeing him, um, in
Yep.
some respects, right?
Mhm.
To see
Mhm.
Superman that broken and struggling, you have to
Right.
really get to a
Right.
certain place.
It
So
it makes you wonder what threat he was up against to leave him in that state.
that man dressed in purple, probably.
Most
Like,
likely.
but we'll find out about that as we go through this trailer.
Mhm, mhm.
How did you feel about the beginning, the opening? How did it resonate with you?
It was an interesting place to start, honestly. It set a tone that the first glance was sort of like, "Oh, oh okay, I'm I'm with you. I don't know what's happening, but I'm with you." You know?
Yeah. Totally. I was like, this is a bold move to start
Yes.
your fresh DC Studios. I mean, Creature Commandos is out, but, as far
Mm-mm.
as, like, your big flagship is concerned,
Exactly.
it's a really bold move to be broken and bloody. Like, this is what Superman has been in your minds for a long time.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda. So let's fix that.
It's also the kind of thing that seeing Superman bloodied, the, like, shock value of it, so to for lack of a better term, is something that you would almost expect them to hold back so that it has that impact when you see it in the film. So
Sure.
for them to show that right off the bat was an interesting choice in that regard too, where it's like, okay, you must have the goods if you're willing to show us this, you know?
I am wondering if it's not a completely linear narrative. Like, I wonder if this is
Sure.
actually, we're actually looking at the opening of the film,
Could
and it's
be.
a, like, "You're probably wondering how I got here,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
kind
right.
of moment. And so, I don't know, but we get some shots of Clark and the Daily Planet building, which I feel is just the same building that we've always seen. Isn't that weird? You film in all these different cities, and yet you always look at the front door of the Daily Planet. I'm like, it's the same building. How
It
do you do that every time?
it has a look, right? It
It's
has a look and like it has the look. I loved it. I
wonderfully
love the
Art
building. I had the
Deco.
same thought.
Mhm.
The the curly hair kind of threw me for a loop, but
I don't
I like
dislike
it.
it.
I like it in the sense that it makes his hair part of the disguise too, like,
Mhm,
he doesn't have the slicked and spit curl, when he's Clark, he doesn't even have it, like, sort of neatly combed, it's just sort of all over the place,
mhm.
which is another thing that makes him look different and
He's a flop
makes you
top. Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
you'd never think that guy is Superman.
No, truthfully, there's a shot later on where he almost, as Clark, he almost looks puffy, like,
Mm.
almost like he's not like, his cheekbones aren't as defined, and some of that's the hair, obviously, it's a movie, so some of it's the lighting and the makeup and doing but it reminded me of All-Star Gary Frank's, no, it's not Gary Frank, it's, Frank Quietly's, All-Star
Frank Whiteley and, Grant
um,
Morrison.
Grant Morrison, right, but the art is particularly his Clark looks puffy. Like, Lex even comments
Yes.
on it in one of the issues where you like, "Come on, Ken, you got some flab, in there, you gotta build up and
Yes.
work out." Like, I think a lot of that has to do with the way that he's holding himself. Chris Reeve also looked flabby that way. They did a really good job at between the hair and making him look really, um, pasty in fluorescent lighting and all this stuff, like,
Sure.
it's really part of the part of the movie magic of,
Right.
this.
Yeah, Clark is in All-Star Superman, you're right, he's kinda husky, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
He's a bigger boned kinda guy. But honestly, with that build, you would kind of believe that man is Superman, in a way, but
I
he does sort of hunch and so
Oh,
there
he's
there is
real
that.
hunched. If you look
But
at that first shot of the inside of the Daily Planet, yes, visual cue here on the, um
yes, for those watching on YouTube, you can see some of Frank Whiteley's art of Clark. Um, yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful book. Always love an
Mhm,
excuse to pull out my All Star, my Absolute edition. Um, yeah, so he does have that. Yes, they did a really good job of making him look differentiated
mhm.
from Superman. The curly hair thing threw me a little bit because it's different, but I don't necessarily dislike it.
It threw me. I mean, I had seen a set picture of it, so I kind of expected it, but I'm always like, "Well, we'll see what it looks like in the movie,
Yeah,
not
right, right.
necessarily in the set photo," but,
Yes,
um, I do like it, I like it enough that, like you said, like, he does look different, like, that moment where he, like, turns around and he looks, like, looks around at, I would assume, Lois talking to him or whatever, like, you're like, "No, that man is probably not Superman." But I
yeah,
always say, like, it's like when you pass a celebrity on the street, like, you always do a double take. You're always like, "Wait,
yeah,
was that Gary Sinise?" Or, like, whatever, like, you don't know, like,
yeah.
because 'cause you're just not expecting to see them in
Yes.
your regular life. That's part of the beauty of the
Yes.
disguise.
Have you ever
Um,
spotted a celebrity on the street like that?
yeah, I passed Hank Azaria,
Mm,
actually, and so it was the same thing, like, "Wait,
nice.
was that who I thought it was?" Um, there's probably another one somewhere in my brain, but
Mm.
that's the one that it comes to first.
That happened with me with Tracy Morgan. I
No,
walked by
see?
him in Manhattan. And then another time I walked by Ben Stiller, but that was less weird because I knew that I was in a place where he was shooting a film. So I kind of expected to see him, but I
Mhm.
walked right by him. Like I walked between him and his security guard
Well,
down
whoops.
the sidewalk.
I mean, not a great security guard if you're
Yeah,
walking.
really.
Yeah, but
And I was with my friend Vin, who, as you know, is a
mhm.
is a big guy. So I'm like, really, you let me and this like these two big burly dudes get between you and the person
Who's
you're
coming
protecting?
after
No.
Ben Stiller? Truly,
I
you
mean,
know?
yeah, true, but it did seem like huh. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, mm,
We see some of the Daily Planet crew inside the Daily Planet. I love the look of the planet. It's
love
like
it.
it looks like I want it to look like
Hmm.
the dream version of what you think offices or newspapers or whatever look like. Obviously, they don't look like that at all, but,
It
it
is what
doesn't
you think
matter.
a newsroom's quintessential, stereotypical newsroom would look like, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but the heightened reality, one,
exactly.
like, obviously, this is not what everything looks like, but,
No.
um, in the teaser to the teaser, we saw some of the Daily Planet, like, most of the Daily Planet crew, pretty much everybody but Perry, is in
Yep.
there. Um, Jimmy, if you look really closely, you can see the All-Star Superman wristwatch,
Oh,
on his arm,
nice.
like the red band and whatever. So, I like that.
That's
Everybody
fun.
looks like they're supposed to look like. Steve Lombard's got a mustache. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he looks like the tool that he is, and I'm
Yes.
yeah,
Rachel
very happy about
Brosnahan
that.
looks every bit the part. Like she just she and she didn't say a word in this
Didn't have
trailer.
to.
Didn't
Said
have
it
to.
all in her face. Yep.
Precisely.
In the look and the way she turned around, and without even seeing the trailer, I knew that she was gonna do that, you know what I mean? Like, some
Yes.
people you can just tell, yeah, like, when Christian Bale was cast as Batman, everyone went, "Yes, of course. That
Mhm.
makes perfect sense." And then we watched the movie and went, "Yes, it still continues to make perfect
W
sense."
we were right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
some
was
people say,
very
like, "Yes,
excited about
Joker or
her
whatever," when
casting.
yes, of course. Yes,
I
naturally.
was very excited about her casting since the announcement, and I've felt like just like, yeah, the Mrs. Maisel of it, like, I can see the connection between the sort of sassiness of that character and what I think Lois should be, and I was like, "Yes, okay,
Yes.
she can do this." Like, I know she has the chops for that.
Mhm.
She'll crush it. And so
She
far,
had
I'm feeling
said
good about that.
Yeah, she had said that her arc is really about, well, the 2 things, that one, that they address in the film apparently several times as part of the ongoing narrative, that what's it like for somebody so strong-willed and to be to be in a relationship or have a relationship or something with somebody who's just literally strong, like, somebody who can lift the world with her will versus being able to actually just lift the world or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
how do you reconcile those two aspects of yourselves, which I'm looking forward to. But I guess Lois's real arc is really about um finding and fighting for truth in a world of fake news, um
Mm, mhm, mhm.
and dying journalism, which, you know which I actually I love, not because it feels like commentary or anything, because it's just true now. But
Yeah.
that to me reads, as the trailer goes on and whatever, as that gives her a reason to really combat Lex Luthor in her own way. Because
Yes.
what I feel like a lot is happening here is a lot of fake news through Lex, um, which I think we'll talk about as it goes on. But
Sure.
I think most of it seems that Lex's plan is like, I got to distract Superman to destroy Superman over here, so I can do this thing over here.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
like, Lois is about, "Oh, I'm gonna find out what Lex is doing over there, so Superman can stop the thing that's happening over there." I
Yes.
like that
Yes.
triangle, and they say all that without saying anything in the trailer. That's the
Yes.
beautiful part about it. Yeah, it's there for you if you look for it. It's wonderful.
Yes. Yes,
Or I
yes,
could be
yes.
totally wrong. Doesn't matter.
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Kent farm that
I
they showed
you know,
us?
truthfully, if the cows weren't there, I'd be concerned if it was a farm at all. Um,
Oh, yeah,
so
true.
but it looks like a regular people's house,
It
like
does.
truly regular people's house,
It
which I
looks
like.
it looks like it looks like what you would expect a sort of lower middle class family's home in the Midwest to look like.
Yeah.
A much more
Mhm,
humble, like, it's not this beautiful farmhouse that's, a picture book kind of perfect.
mhm.
It's just sort of like your typical, ranch style house from, like, the '80s or '70s or whatever,
Yep.
and it's nothing, like, out of the ordinary.
Mhm.
Um,
Truly what I
I
liked
kinda
about
like that.
Yeah, me too. Not necessarily the house, but what I loved about this little snippet of a scene that we saw is that Clark and Pa Kent are dressed the same. They both
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
flannel open with the white T-shirt underneath, and I'm like, "You're just your dad." And I love that, how much you're
Yes.
influenced by your father, that you're dressing like him. That just, like, that tells me a lot about the way that they're treating a lot about the way that they're treating their relationship in this movie. And of course, there seems to be some kind of emotional moment here.
Yes,
Um,
it does.
yeah, it reads to me like Pa's telling him that he has cancer. This is what instead of
Mm.
going the heart attack route, "You can't save me,
Right, right.
but I love you anyway, son."
Mhm.
That's what
Mm.
I feel like is happening here.
Interesting. I could see that. I could
'Cause
totally see that.
Not that this movie was written as a reaction to James Gunn's father passing away, but he passed away while he was writing the movie, or right before
Mm.
he wrote the movie, or there's something like that. So when it was called Superman Legacy, I feel like a part of that is the legacy that a son has with his father, and
Mm.
I think that really, not that you can't do that while your dad's still alive, but Pa Kent dying is really part of Superman's story, so I feel like that's the route they're taking. I don't know. What do you think?
I like that. I didn't my mind didn't go there, but I think that's very plausible and would be a very interesting different way
Mhm.
to take the Pa Kent story. No, I thought it was maybe I'm thinking a little bit too within the lines, within the yeah, uh, inside the box. I was thinking like, oh, maybe this is him, Clark saying that he needs to leave, like this, that he's saying goodbye because he needs to leave the farm, go to Metropolis. Um,
Oh, like a flashback kinda thing, because like,
yeah, yeah,
he's already he's already Superman, he's already been doing his
correct,
thing,
correct.
so
But I was figuring like, well, this is back when Pa was alive,
sure.
and it's a
Sure.
flashback to him leaving or and whatever wisdom he imparted on him or something when he left.
Mm,
Um, But yeah, what if he is what if yeah, the Kents are still alive, still back in Smallville, and maybe, yeah, maybe Jonathan's sick and or maybe Jonathan has passed, I don't know. But yeah, I that's an interesting different challenge for him to have to grapple with, not
right,
being able to save. He we've seen him grapple with, he died of a heart attack and I couldn't save him, but like to watch him expire, slowly
right.
is
Mhm,
a whole different emotional weight to it.
right, and I think, I I I actually like when his parents are still alive, like, I like that he becomes
Me
Superman
too.
not because, or even travels to find out his heritage, not because of any tragedy or trauma, but because he just wants to know, and then in turn wants to do good for people, for the world, and that's the impact that they left on him. So
Mhm.
if this is what's happening, but he's already Superman when this happens, I like that he's already doing a thing, and, like, he's focused on saving people, but to learn the lesson that he can save a lot of people by doing a lot of different things, but there are just some things that even Superman can't do. Um,
Yep. Yep.
that's mhm,
It's
I
one of the most important things I think when we talk about, like, him being, what are the stakes if he's so powerful? Like, it's that. It's that
mhm,
you can't save everybody. You just can't. You can do all these amazing things, but
mhm,
you can't stop cancer, you can't stop a heart attack, you can't, um, stop old age. So it's and that's something for him to deal with.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I love that. So I like all of that. I think crypto ended up being sort of the star of it, like stole the
He's
show.
so freaking cute. Look
So
at his
cute,
little
very
face.
cute.
I did
Yes.
see James Gunn say that's probably the nicest thing Crypto does in the whole movie. Like, he said, like, Crypto's, like, actually, like, a terror of a dog,
Oh, that's
which
funny.
which I kind of love. I like the idea, like, maybe Crypto in some way has his own trauma that he's dealing with, like,
Mm,
he remembers Krypton. He's old enough,
sure.
so, for him to, like, just be a puppy, just like a loose cannon of a dog, but,
Yeah,
like, a
yeah,
loose
yeah.
cannon with superpowers, like,
Right.
I do kinda like Superman just, like, low key, like, "I gotta train this dog." Like,
Yes.
I love that. I kinda love that he ran to Superman too.
Mm,
He didn't fly, like, I like, maybe he can't fly or whatever, he lacks the ability, but I do love just as soon as he was coming, I was like, "Oh my gosh," they're, like, not even holding back on Crypto in a trailer, like,
right.
with a
Yeah.
cape, like, they're just
With a
like,
cape.
with a cape, like, just everyone, just so you know, I'm not tricking you, this is the kind of movie that you're in for. If you can't get behind the Superman puts a cape on his dog, maybe this isn't for you.
Mm,
Don't knock if it's for everybody else,
mhm,
you
mhm.
know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, I love it. It's so cute. He's so cute.
He
Um,
is.
uh, Take Me Home, you know, the fortress, obviously, the which is interesting, interesting terminology, like that he considers the fortress his home, or maybe it's
Home.
just language for the dog or whatever. But
Mhm.
truly, to go from cute Crypto to Superman saving a child, awesome shot.
Ah.
Just the best.
Oh,
That's what I wanted. Just like, this is it. Look at him. He's
and
saving a
it's
kid. This is what I
It's
want.
the
This is all I
it's
wanted.
it's the first thing you see him do. Like, at the
Yeah,
first thing he does other than whistle to crypto, right? Like, the first action you see him take is
save.
saving somebody.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. Beautiful. Yeah. Intentionally
Mhm,
wonderful. Yeah.
mhm.
Also, looks cool. It is like a
Looks
really dynamite. Looks dynamite.
looks
Yeah.
fantastic.
To use a really old slang. Speaking of somebody who would use dynamite, then we get our first glimpse of Lex Luthor. Um,
Mhm,
he looks exactly as I thought he was going to look. Bald
mhm.
Nicholas Holt.
Yep, yep.
but I
Looks
wouldn't
just like Nicholas Hoult.
I wouldn't expect it to look any different than that. Um, they're going with Luthor Corp instead of Lex Corp.
Yes.
Frank's very excited about this.
Yes, he is. I
Tell me
loved
why.
that. I loved that because Luthor Corp is a Smallville thing.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I know. Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah,
I know, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, LexCorp is what it's traditionally referred to in the comics and in pretty much every medium.
Yeah,
And
truthfully though, not really though. I think I think Smallville really changed that. Like
well,
because
yeah,
if you
yeah.
watch any version of any version of media besides comics and I think Superman the Animated Series,
Mhm.
like, which was pre-Smallville,
Yep.
like but anything post-Smallville, it's always Luthor Corp now.
Post Smallville, yes. Yeah.
Always Luthor Corp. It
Mhm,
was
mhm.
was it Lex Corp in the Snyderverse? No, I'm second guessing myself.
I don't remember, to be honest with you, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, even at the end of Smallville, the last shot we see of Lex, like the Luthor Corp sign falls and
Mhm.
there's an X in there, sort of a nod to like, oh, maybe he's going to change the name of. I think the idea is that he changes the name of the company to LexCorp to sort of get Lionel's name off of it, right?
Right.
Make it all about him. Um, but I love that they went with Luthor Corp here and that they showed it to us in big bold letters, like this is what it's called.
Me
Um,
too. I love
oh,
it. I personally, I love that anything is like just FYI, everyone, Smallville's great. This is like a way of showing it to people. Luther Corp.
mhm.
But now it's almost like Smallville's been out for so long that now it's like you're including things that are in some ways like legacy things,
They are.
like making the fortress like the like the ice fortress. Like now that's a
Mhm.
thing that has like surpassed like its time.
Sure.
Now it's timeless. Luther Corp.
Yep.
Um, there's a glimpse of somebody on the building of the Luther Corp building. It's confirmed that that's the engineer.
Okay.
And so I have no idea what she's doing up there, but we at
Sure.
least know that is the first look at the engineer
Okay.
who is in
Interesting.
here.
I knew
Um,
she was in it. I didn't realize that was her.
we get a shot of Lex in a suit with a revolver.
Mm.
Lex is very expressive in this trailer.
Yes.
It's just like
Yes.
I'm a little concerned he's overacting. If I have to be, I'm not getting
I
that
can see.
vibe from anybody else but him.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. It definitely gives me the impression that he is, like, unstable, megalomaniacal, like, just
Mhm.
totally off his rocker, and dangerous, like, criminally insane,
I
which is a
saw
very
It's good. I'm not
yeah,
complaining about that.
it's a
I saw
right.
that James Gunn said that he's very mad scientist. They're going for mad scientist, but like so much
Mhm,
so that
mhm,
like
mhm.
they say he's more of a sorcerer than a scientist. Like the science that he does is so beyond real science. It's just sorcery. But
Interesting.
James Gunn said, I'm not interested in the real science of it. Like it's just like it's Silver Age. Like how
Okay.
you do that? Science doesn't really matter. Honestly, I love that. I'm really tired of like, well, this is how it's probably real. Who the
Right,
frick cares? Like,
right.
just just let the man cook, and
Yeah, yes,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and if he's gonna cook up some wizardry to like defeat Superman, grow a kaiju or whatever, that's not real science. Like that's none of
Yeah,
that's real
yeah.
science. But Superman's not real science either. So why
Sure.
should Lex play by the science rules, but the real science? So personally, on board for that take.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. I like that. Yeah, I see where it could be. There could be overacting going on. That's a very good point, and it's very very possible. But I hope I hope that there is a narrative
Mhm.
reason for that.
Sure. It's just really hard to tell from
Totally. From a
like,
couple snippets. Yeah.
from a couple snippets, exactly. We get Superman in this glass case of emotion. So, like, I don't know, uh, I don't know what's
It's
happening.
actually a crystal case of emotion.
Oh, no. Yeah, oh, no. Yeah, there's, like, people in the box, and, like, other people are in there. There's light, they're taking pictures. I don't know what's happening. It's really the only part of the trailer that I was like, "I I have no context for this. I can't piece
Mm,
this together through anything." Like, sometimes you can kinda piece together a story somewhere along the way through snippets of something. I have no idea what's happening here.
mhm, mhm.
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not sure what to I'm not sure what to make of it. Um, yeah, there were a couple of things that either went over my head or I didn't really clock, and that was one of them. That I'm not
Okay.
really sure what that's supposed to be. If that's a reference or what it might be um, showing.
Could it could be I don't know, a weird dream. It could be a prison. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Um, but then, we cut to this kid next, saying Superman, raising the flag of Superman while there's some kind of skirmish battle war going on.
Mhm.
Because there's um, Boravia
Mhm.
is what's happening in here. But I have Creature Commandos connection over here. I don't know if you're watching
Oh,
Creature Commandos
I
or
I haven't watched.
we'll do a little bit of spoiler. I'll do it as spoiler free as I can. One, Creature Commandos
Okay.
is great. It's so good. Do recommend. But the Clark in earlier, he's holding a newspaper. I think it's Clark, might be Lois, is holding a newspaper. The newspaper Daily Planet says Hammer of Boravia creates havoc downtown. And it's got a picture of a really blurry figure. Okay, that
Okay.
looks rather large. However, and we know later in the Superman trailer that it says Boravia on the news, so that we know, or Bavorian or whatever, so we know that's where
Yeah.
the action is taking place. However, that blurry image looks almost identical to a snippet of Gorilla Grodd that appears in Creature Commandos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
hmm Like it's it's the same. Like it's yeah. And so I don't know exactly what is happening, but everything that has appeared in Creature Commandos, you're like, well, there's Superman or whatever in his costume, and
Mm,
like that's the one. So like they're pretty intentional about they're not it's world building, but if like this
yes.
is what they look like in Creature Commandos, this is what they look like in a live action version too. Like and
Mhm,
vice versa.
mhm.
It's like you see a snippet of Superman and he's got the DCU suit, this new one.
Yes.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I don't know what's happening there, but
Mm.
there's definitely there we might see we might be seeing some stuff that I'm excited to
That's
see.
that would be pretty wild to see a live action Gorilla Grodd terrorizing Metropolis.
Or Boravia or wherever it is, right?
Sure.
So who know, yeah, who knows? Who
Hmm.
knows?
Hmm,
Yeah.
hmm.
But pretty cool. Pretty cool.
The little
Um
boy raising the flag was perfect.
mhm.
It was giving me big, like, Broom Boy vibes from the end of Last Jedi, like, sort of
Oh.
the giving hope to somebody,
Mhm.
um, being that,
Yep.
um, beacon of hope for someone who needs it,
What I
and probably actually physically saving him at the same time, but
yeah, I feel like this movie is gonna deliver on he's gonna come and save that boy because that's what Superman does. That's what Superman
yes,
does.
that's what he does.
But not that everybody believes that because there's some fake news stuff going on. Some like like people are. hating on Superman after I would assume after he fought the kaiju that appears because the kaiju, like, breathes fire on him, and we see Superman, he's a little sooty and dirty and
Mm, mhm,
everything.
mhm.
Someone throws a can at his head,
Yep.
and he makes his way into the building, and that building is Stagg Industries, owned
Yes.
by Simon Stagg, creator of Metamorpho, who we see
Uh-huh.
later in the trailer.
Yeah.
And in comes Guy Gardner with his stupid haircut.
Stupid haircut. It's
Stupid.
stupid, but comic accurate.
I
I'll give him
love
that.
that he looks stupid because you know me, I don't like Guy Gardner. Like I've been clear on my dislike of
Yeah.
Guy Gardner, but he's he is not a he's likable in the way that he is not likable, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but there's a reason
Guy
Batman
Gardner's
punches him in the face. Let's
Guy
just
Gardner's never been my cup of tea. He's never
no.
been my favorite Green Lantern. But,
Bold
and I'm
choice for him to be the first Green Lantern we are all introduced to.
it is a bold choice, and it's Nathan Fillion in that role really confuses me, but I'm interested in seeing what he brings to the character.
I think he'll be good as is the character. I do
Yeah.
think truthfully, he his haircut partially looks stupid because I know Nathan Fillion's in his 50s and he kinda looks like he's in his 50s. So,
Mhm.
like, the hair in some ways, like, makes it worse,
Kind of.
like but also because Guy is also kind of the worst,
Mhm.
that's what makes it kinda work for me.
It kinda all works together.
Right. It's
Yeah.
all terrible,
Yeah.
um, in its own way. So we see Hawkgirl,
Yeah.
in the building right behind him and also, a quick shot of Mr. Terrific. On their suits, they all have a JL on their suits. But it is
I didn't.
confirmed that the Justice League does not exist yet in this universe. Right. So hear me out.
Okay.
Maxwell Lord is in this movie. It's played
Mhm.
by Sean Gunn, James
Mm.
Gunn's brother. I think they're the Justice Lords.
Oh.
I think that's what they're calling them. I think that's what they're going for. Like they're using the name, another little Easter egg for the DC animated universe fans. Um and I think that like they're going to they're basically going to learn to be better heroes through Superman. We had heard that rumor. That rumor has been circulating for a while, but like
Mhm.
that they've been like they kill people and Superman teaches them not to kill. I don't think they're doing that. I just think they're literally he's gonna be like, no, this is how you be better by
Right.
like doing
Right.
everything you can to help people. Not that they're not because they're heroes, but like you can always be a little bit better.
Sure.
Um, and I think that,
Hmm.
because we get Hawker, because I think they're part of the kaiju battle.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah. It seems to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which could be the finale, could not
Right.
be.
That's the interesting thing
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out.
yeah, probably not based on, like, them coming in and Superman being sooty and everything like that, but it's we
It it's hard
truthfully
to say.
hard to say, but also, I think James Gunn is way smarter than, like yeah, I'll show scenes from the 3rd act or the 5th act of the movie in my in my
Mhm.
teaser trailer. That doesn't it's too tightly controlled for that to happen.
That big orb thing
The
attacking
the
the city,
the blue and
the
green one? Yeah,
yeah, I think it's purple and green.
it's purple and green. I don't know why I said
Yeah,
blue. I'm actually looking at it, and I said the
okay.
wrong colors, so
Eh, so yeah, that one, that has final act energy to me,
it does.
but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that shot of the 2, I think we're skipping ahead a little bit, but the 2 of them hugging in front of it,
Mhm.
that
That's a
just
that's a
has
that has the "I'm gonna die" energy, like,
yeah.
"Give me a hug" kinda thing. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 before I go off to war. Like, yeah, it has that kinda energy. But I don't know. I don't know.
It's the Sun Eater, do you think? Or maybe Lex controlling the Sun Eater because it's green and purple, and we know that purple or purple green are Lex's colors in this movie, which I will get to in a moment.
Mhm.
So
Y that's a I do think it's something Lex is controlling,
mhm.
absolutely. I think those colors indicate that.
Yeah, if you
But
see purple, it's Lex. Like,
yeah,
that's just, you
yep.
know, um, yeah, because there's it is a little I said I think I texted you, and I think it's a little concerning to me that there's, like, something clearly ready to destroy the city right out his window, and he's, like, just talking to Lois. And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Sir, good sir, sir." Like,
Get out
it's
there.
probably a crisis of conscience in some way, right?
Sure.
But sir, do you see what's out the window?
But you know what? He's putting on his boots. So
Yeah.
that's
Mhm. Well, there's a character that so we get Lois and Clark kissing.
yes.
Wonderful.
Love it.
Happy that we're going in that direction.
Yes.
Just, good to see. Um, Superman crying over a robot in the Fortress of Solitude. Um, Looks like the fortress. It didn't even occur to me that the fortress wouldn't be crystal. So when I
Sure.
saw some, you know, people online being like, first shot, like first look at the fortress, the crystal," and I'm like, yeah, obviously. Why wouldn't it be? And then I remembered
Sure.
that sometimes it's not, depending on what you watch,
Yeah.
right? And I just
Especially if he's borrowing from the Silver Age.
right, yeah, crystal comes from Superman the movie.
Yep.
So, um,
Yep.
but
In that shot, where he is, over the robot,
mhm,
in the background, if you look super carefully,
yep.
like over his shoulder, you can just vaguely make out, um, what appears to be like a replica of Marlon Brando's lab on Krypton.
What?
Yes. There are these tower structures,
Oh, yeah, I see it. Mhm.
that have,
Yep.
like, horizontal lines, across them.
Mhm.
Those are straight out of the set from
Oh, you're
the planet
totally
Krypton.
right. That's right, I forgot about that. Right,
Yeah.
because that's what they're like, his pod is in basically, and
Yes.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly, yes.
Word.
So that is clearly modeled after that. So that's cool. But we think you pointed out to me. I was like, "What is this robot? Is it like Brainiac?" But it wouldn't be Brainiac if he's like mourning
Crying
it.
over it. Mhm.
Right. But then you pointed out,
I said Kellex,
yeah, I think it's Alex.
um, because it had been circulating that Kellex was probably in the movie. That's not necessarily new at this point. Kellex
Mhm.
was in Man of Steel. He's
Mhm,
been
mhm.
in Supergirl, Superman and Lois had Kellex, I think. Like,
Gosh, I think
yeah,
so. I think in season
yeah,
1.
so it's not necessarily new. It's pretty standard.
Uh-huh.
Um, a friend of mine, my friend Bobby pointed out it might be the robot
It's pronounced robot.
the robot, um, uh, that gets destroyed by the Sun Eater in All-Star Superman. It's like
Oh, okay.
Sun 7, Solaris 7, something like that. I can't it's been a long time since I've read All-Star Superman, so I can't remember the name. I'm not gonna look it up.
I like that, but it being in the fortress, Kellex seems like
Right.
the more
Mhm.
obvious answer.
I will feel better if it's Kellex. Not that I want Kellex to
Yeah.
die, but,
No, but
I like that Superman grieves even the robot. That's the
yeah.
Superman that I'm here for, right? That's it. Um, we see the fortress crystals coming up, so it looks
Yeah.
like he's making it for the first time maybe, or maybe there's some flashback stuff going on, like, we talked about. We get an amazing shot of Metamorpho.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
that confused me when I first saw it because I didn't expect them to show Metamorpho. I kind of forgot that he was gonna be in the movie. So I was like, "Whoa, Brainiac? No. Bizarre? No, wait." And
I
then I
I
saw the
thought
purple and orange on
Parasite.
the shoulder.
Yeah,
See,
I
that
didn't
would've been a good
catch the
choice too.
purple and orange. It didn't register for me that that was actually purple and orange on his shoulders. I thought it was,
Mhm.
like, just the lighting or whatever. But totally, yeah, that's totally Metamorpho, and Stag
And
is
Stack
in the movie,
Industries,
so
right,
yeah.
tagged earlier. Get some
Stag
buildings
tag.
collapsing. We got some Lex looking sad and angry. We got news of the
I
Bavarians, Superman
I
pushing Kaiju back, all the good
I
stuff.
actually wanna the buildings collapsing
Mhm.
is like it looks like dominoes falling, like one falling on the other, right?
Yep. Mhm.
That like, what what could make that happen?
The Kaiju, I would imagine.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I'm kinda hoping we get, like, that, the, oh my gosh, the cartoon Superman, what's the 4 from the '40s? Um,
the Fleischer
Fleischer,
cartoons.
thanks,
Yeah.
yeah. I had Schuster in my head, I'm like, "That's the
Yeah, yeah.
creator, that's not helping." But, like, he just, like, literally just pushes a skyscraper back, and it just, like, goes
Yeah. I
yeah,
heard someone else make the same reference. Yeah,
yeah.
actually,
Kinda hoping
uh,
for that. even though not physically possible. But
Sure,
like
sure.
Superman pushing the building back wouldn't be physically possible either. So I don't
Right.
freaking care.
It's an
Like,
iconic shot though from that
yeah.
series.
Hmm.
There is also, the kaiju itself, which we see for like a second breathing fire.
Yep.
Um, my buddy Derek was joking like, "What if that's the Arctic monster from the Fleischer cartoons?"
Oh man.
I mean, it's not, but
It's not, but that would be an incredible pull.
it
Like,
would, yeah.
absolutely incredible pull. Um, I do like the look. I do like Superman fighting a giant kaiju. Like, it's
Mhm, mhm.
one actually new for a Superman
Yeah,
like film, anything really. Like, apart from maybe some definitely some animated series, Justice
animated,
League stuff and whatever. But for live action, I can't think of anything that comes close to that except for Superman fighting Doomsday
right,
or like Steppenwolf or whatever. Like, but
sure,
that's not the same
mm-mm,
as a 50-foot tall monster. It's
right,
just not. Um,
right. Um, yeah, that is super like, Superman versus Godzilla. Like,
mhm.
I'm into it,
I'm into it. Yeah, I'm into it,
I am
especially if
into it.
it's all Lex controlled, which I know that it
Yeah,
is,
which it
right?
must be,
Yeah,
yeah.
super science, yeah. Um, we get a shot of somebody really, really briefly punching through a wall of some kind,
Mm,
and then Superman in the Metropolis Meteor Stadium for the win.
yeah,
Yeah, Easter egg for the win,
mhm.
fighting off this guy in a purple suit. So,
In a
Lex.
purple, like, armor suit.
Right, yeah, and
Yeah,
I think it's the same guy punching through the wall because 'cause he's got a full face covering
okay.
and everything. I I have seen set how spoilery do you want me to get here? Because I don't have any inside information, but I have seen a set photo that points to who it could be, not necessarily confirmed either way.
Just for the sake of anybody listening who doesn't want to be spoiled, let's be delicate about it, but, like, my and I don't know the photo you're talking about, so I this is not, but I do the obviously, I think it's Lex. Like, that seems like the a purple suit, like, it seems like it's the Lexo suit, right? Like, or a variation of it. That seems like the logical assumption to me.
I had not actually considered that in the slightest. I
Oh,
kinda like that. I don't think it is
okay.
based on the front of the suit. Obviously,
Gotcha.
the guy is totally masked up. It's like head
Yeah.
so you can't tell who it is. The mask kind of looks like Doomsday's green mask, like, hit that bodysuit with the
Oh, yeah,
circular
yeah.
goggles and whatever.
Yep, yep.
Um, um, but I guess I'll give me a minute, everybody, if you wanna skip forward a minute starting
Sure.
now.
Sure, sure.
But it's, full purple suit, on the front is a big U. Um,
Oh.
yeah, so James Gunn confirmed it's not Ultraman,
Oh, okay.
because that was like, "Ultraman,"
That's where
right?
my mind goes, right, yeah.
There was New 52 Superman book where there's this guy named Ulysses that's
Oh, I
lab
remember
created.
that.
Yeah, I remember that? John Romita
Yeah.
Jr. I think it's him, and
Okay.
I think it's another version of, like, the lab created, like, like, let me throw whatever I can at Superman, and I think that, like, it's just the 3rd and I think he's the reason that Superman is so bloody at the
Got it.
beginning of the trailer.
Got it. Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but the face covering makes me think, like, is it some kind of, like, Superman lookalike,
Yeah, a
clone,
clone
double?
or
Yeah, is it like, there's something more there than, you know, 'cause it's something to be like, I'm it's like science. It's something to say, like, "Well, I created a kaiju, but I
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
replicate Superman's powers," right? That normally leads to something else.
I mean, what if it's, like, sort of turns into Bizarro? Like, what if it's a clone of him that went wrong or something?
Right, right, yeah, exactly. It's it's hard to say, but that transitions into, I would assume Boravia because of, the sand that we saw
Mhm.
earlier with all the people running and Mr. Terrific using his T-spheres to hold off some people in war suits, green and purple war suits, which is going
Yes.
back to my Lex is doing a thing over here to do another thing over here, right?
Mhm,
So it's
mhm.
'cause a few people I saw have pointed out online, it's like, when Lex militarizes the Metropolis Police in,
Right.
Superman for All Seasons, which is also a noted influence on James Gunn said it's a noted influence. Um,
Nice.
so which is yeah. But I think that this actually might be, like, the final act of the movie where, like, they're like the Justice Lords become the Justice League International in some way, like, "We're
Mm.
gonna go take care of this thing over here. We're gonna, like, basically break the law for the betterment of people, because guess what? Who's already breaking the law over here?
Yeah.
Lex Luthor," or
Right,
something
right,
like
right.
that. That's where I feel like this is all going.
Yeah. It I wonder what Lex is after in this movie. Like, I don't think it's real estate. I don't think it's beachfront property this time.
Nope.
But is it some, rare mineral or, something, some precious resource that is
Mhm.
available there in Boravia or however you say it? Or yeah, I wonder. And those soldiers, presumably in those suits, seem like Lex mercenaries or something.
For sure. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I like it. Bold
Yeah.
move to make your mercenaries in green and purple, just saying.
Yeah.
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 Don't disagree. Love
Love it.
love a good brand, but
Mm.
bold. Um, we see a beautiful shot, Superman and Lois circling and kissing. It's a wonderful thing.
That was the one for me that just made my heart flutter. I mean, him saving the little girl, the little boy raising the flag, but that one just like just a beautiful shot of them spinning, rotating as they kissing as they rise, and it looked like it was in a shopping mall or something.
Yes, I had that same question. I
Yeah.
was like, I have there's a building near me that looks just like that.
Yeah.
Did you come to Rhode Island?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and film Superman's very secretly here. I don't think
Right, yeah.
so.
Actually, they filmed in Atlanta or near Atlanta. I wonder if that might be somewhere in Atlanta.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we see Superman flying up into the sky towards the sun, get
Mhm.
some,
Charge
feel
up.
letters, charge up, and then the shot you referenced with Lois and Superman hugging, um,
Mhm.
and that was the trailer, and I just love it so much,
Mhm.
Frank. I love it so
I
much.
loved it.
What I
I loved
wanted.
it. And we should mention that throughout the entire trailer, the music that we hear is
Mhm.
a slow guitar cover, of the Williams theme, the
Yeah,
John
I think
Williams theme.
it's slightly I'm sure you heard it. It is slightly different.
Slightly
It's
different,
like,
yes.
it's
Yeah.
kinda like, "Here's my work, change a few words, and we'll turn in the same thing."
It's variations on that theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not I saw this yesterday, but I was holding it off for the podcast. This is not my original idea, but people have been saying online that they like that it's the Williams theme because the Superman theme, you could count it like the Bond theme, where it doesn't matter who's
Mm.
playing the character, that's just the James Bond theme. And
I
it turned my whole perception of using that music, and I
Yes.
love it so much. Like,
Yes.
obviously, that's the Superman theme. You don't have to recreate it, it's perfect. So just use it
Yeah.
because just like the James Bond theme, it's always the James Bond
You
theme.
know what? That is so good.
Yeah.
That really applies here.
Mhm.
Yeah. In a way that it applies to few other situations.
Very few. I truly apart from James Bond, Mission Impossible,
I
because it was
guess,
the
yeah, yeah,
original
yeah, yeah.
TV show's theme and then the movie's theme.
Yeah,
Um
that theme itself is too iconic to not use it,
Yeah,
and I
in
kinda
some
think the
ways,
same thing
like,
applies here.
Star Trek movies, then Next Generation used the same
Yeah, yeah.
theme, like
You're never gonna have a Star Wars movie that doesn't, like, use some of those themes in it, somewhere,
right,
um
it's gotta sound well, sometimes that's not true anymore, actually, they do move away from the Williams sound.
well, they don't use the score, completely, but some of the leitmotifs, still make their way
When
into
the
it.
Force shows up, the Force theme is present,
Right.
that's it's not Ben Kenobi's theme
Sure.
anymore,
Sure,
it's the
sure,
Force,
yes.
right? Um But I would like to see that, truthfully, I'd love to see that applied to the Danny Elfman's Batman theme too.
Yeah, that would be the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. But, like, I don't think there's anybody else that really could of the major superheroes from the 2 big publishers.
No,
I
I
don't.
don't. That's the other ones are like just someone, so one of my friends said to me, it's kind of like in the MCU when they used the '60s Spider-Man theme when
Oh, yeah.
boom, 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 but, like, that wasn't his main title music, it was more for fun,
Yes. Yes,
right?
exactly.
But
Yep.
this is the Superman theme, everybody.
Mhm. Mhm. They
Don't mess with
even
the rest
used
of it.
the text, that appears throughout the trailer,
Mhm.
um, is very clearly modeled after the Donner, opening titles. I don't expect we'll see that in the movie. I feel like that was just for the trailer more than likely.
I think that they're trying it's a nice nod, it's nice
It's a nice nod.
intertextuality, like, it wants you to be like, "See, these movie or this especially this first one is really good. It is about hope and compassion and love, and so is this one, and we're
Yeah,
bringing
yeah.
that over." But it's watch the trailer, it's so very clearly not the same movie,
No.
like,
No, it's not.
it's not a redo of that film. It's just tonally, like, in some like, tonally Superman cares about people. That is
It's
not to
not.
say that other Supermen on other medias and whatever do not care about people. That's even
That's right.
unfair to say about any of them,
It is.
really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just, but the whole tone of the film might be more akin to, "We're having fun here, everybody.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna have some fun."
Uplifting, joyful,
Mhm.
hopeful.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, and that
and
doesn't
fun.
mean the Superman's not gonna go through the ringer, right? And that,
He clearly does. He's bleeding.
right, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and he's clearly emotionally spent at certain
yep,
points in the movie,
yep.
but if you show me that he's just gonna get back up and keep going anyway,
Mhm.
that's what I wanna that's the best. That's because that's who he is, you know?
I know we have that moment of them kissing as they rise, which is my, like I said, my favorite shot from the trailer, um, but it struck me that she has a very Lois and Clark have a very, like, what seems like a very passionate kiss, and then when what I assume is him going off to fight that orb or Sun Eater or whatever it is,
Mhm.
um, they just hug, which makes me think she doesn't know his secret.
And until after that,
In
right?
yes, like she doesn't know his secret yet in this story.
It's very possible.
Mhm.
I kinda took it as sometimes the hug actually means more than the kiss.
Fair, yeah, I see that. I see that. Yes, yes,
If you're
yes.
going through something, like, does your spouse offer you a kiss or a hug? Because the
Yeah.
hug actually is more comforting
Consoling or
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is more consoling than the kiss, so, I
Yeah.
don't know. So, not everything has to be about
Not everything means something,
brilliant.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know. But,
It would
obviously, we're
be
not watching it in order, so as far as the trailer is concerned,
exactly, which is what, yeah,
so
it's yeah, it's
yeah,
hard to say. Hard to say.
yeah.
Um, I'm super jazzed for this movie. I can't wait until July. I'm so, so excited. I'm so, so grateful it doesn't come out July 4th weekend
Mhm.
because
Don't worry, that's when Jurassic Park Rebirth comes out,
oh, is
so
it? Nice.
yeah.
But yeah, I because just I wouldn't wanna have to compete with 4th of July stuff,
Correct. I
to
agree.
go see Superman, so I'm glad that that's, giving us a wide berth there.
Yeah, no.
I'm so
The
excited, man.
3 o'clock on Thursday the 3rd, though, you bet I'm gonna be or with
Oh,
Thursday
yeah.
the 10th, I'm gonna be there.
I realized when I told my wife, like, "Oh, the new Superman trailer drops today, so I'm gonna be like, hold my calls."
Mhm.
And she was like, "It's been a while since there's been a movie like that you were, like, counting down waiting for the trailer." And I was like, "Honestly, I think The Rise of Skywalker was the last one where I was like, the trailer drops today, I can't wait." Like, I with all often with Marvel movies, but not in the last few years.
Nope, I
You
agree.
know,
Yeah.
I think since Endgame probably was the last time that I was like, the new trailer comes out for a Marvel movie.
Yep.
And as you know, I haven't really been watching trailers all that much the last couple years. But yeah, I think since Rise of Skywalker, this is the movie I've been most excited about, most anticipating. And this teaser definitely did its job and definitely got me excited. And I'm hungry for any content that I can get about this movie right now. I am so in.
I think I would. I mean, I was going to see it even if I didn't see a trailer, but I think like I could just go to see the movie now.
Yeah,
like not have to watch. I honestly don't have to watch the rest. I will.
No, I will,
especially the main one when it comes out in a couple of months. You know,
I'll
watch that one. But any TV spots, anything like no, I'm still in my. I'd like to go in kind of blind. You know, like surprise me. But I also don't want to build it too much because I don't want to build it too much in my head and think it's going to do this and then it does something else and then I'm disappointed in myself for putting my own thoughts onto something that's not fair.
Yeah,
you know. But
yep. I will probably watch everything that comes out pretty much to promote this movie. But I'm I don't think it's going to take away from my enjoyment of it. I'm so excited, and I think I really liked the little mini teaser that came out the day before that told us like, hey, trailer drops tomorrow. It's just shots of people looking up in the sky.
Look up.
It's just shots of like everybody at the Daily Planet and people around the Metropolis and people presumably in Baravia, people just looking up. And for years there that was a sort of recurring joke / theory that might be how the Smallville finale would end, right? That you would just see a montage of people that we had seen throughout the whole series, just looking up, and that you wouldn't need to see him in the suit. You'd just see them all looking up, and that would give you, the emotional resonance of it. And that's always been in the back of my mind as something that'd be cool to see. And they did it with that little tease, and I loved that. I loved it. It was great little piece of editing. Yeah, beautiful.
It's a great tagline too.
Yeah, look up.
Yeah, it's a really good one. It's right up there with "You'll Believe a Man Can Fly."
It really is. It really is, because it's like you could take it many different ways. It can mean lots of different things. Because he's someone to look up to. There's all these different applications.
It's good. They're cooking, and I love it. Frank, you're loving it.
No, they're cooking. I love it, and I'm into it. Yeah. I'm into it, and I'd love to tell you where you can find us on the internet so that you can hear more of what we have to say as the movie gets closer. We should mention we're going to take a little holiday break. For the
this
rest
episode
of
was long enough. You can listen to it over 2 weeks if you want to.
Exactly. Yeah, break it up. We will be. Yeah, this is the last new Beer with Geeks you'll hear for 2024. We'll be back in 2025, and very very excited to do so. But yeah, we're gonna take a little time, spend some time with our families, that kind of thing, over Christmas and New Year's. So we wish you all happy holidays and happy New Year. And Merry Christmas. And in the meantime, if you want to, if there's a Beer with Geeks shaped hole in your heart for the next couple of weeks,
left. Where's it going?
Yeah. Oh no! What comes back? If you feel the absence of Beer with Geeks during this time, head on over to beerwithgeeks.com. We have a large backlog of over 500 episodes that you can check out. We have lots of Christmas episodes and so forth that would be a lot of fun to listen to if that's would scratch an itch. Just search the website and you'll find them. You can also subscribe and follow us anywhere that you get your podcasts. Of course, now on YouTube. You can also, if you use YouTube for audio podcasts, you can also get the audio version there, as well as Spotify, Apple, anywhere else. You can rate and review us in those places. That is always a big help. And of course, if you really want to help us, you can head over to patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio. And that is how you can support the show and help us to keep making it and pay for our movie tickets to see this movie in July.
Mhm. Please pay for
Please.
my movie tickets. No, it's okay. Just pay for the show.
Just pay for the
Don't
show.
get movie
That
tickets.
would help. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Frank,
it.
it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I wish you the very best Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year,
Same
and
to you, my
so
friend.
until next time, cheers.
Cheers.